really good to see you. Thank you so very much for joining us. Look, the GDP outlook is not looking very good. And I was looking at what we had in 2021 versus now. We saw 6.1% growth. We're now sitting at 3.2% growth in 2022. That's, of course, sitting down half of what we saw last year. But I guess the question is, how bad is it still going to get? Because in your report, you say that a global recession is 4 times more likely than what we see in normal conditions. And mostly the big concern is within the G7 nations.
Yes, and thank you for having me, and sorry to be the bearer of bad news here. Basically, what we're having right now is the 3 largest economies in the world, the US, China, and the euro area, are stalling, and they're significantly revised downwards for the reasons you mentioned: inflation, China's outbreaks of COVID-19 and lockdowns, and then the war in Ukraine that is having an impact on energy and gas markets. Now, we are seeing a growth rate at 2.9% in 2023. This is still not a global recession by far. Actually, 2.9%. We had that growth rate in 2019. No one was talking about a global recession then. But we're emphasizing also a number of downside risks that we think are quite plausible. So things like, for instance, a full shutdown of Russian gas flows to Europe, or a tightening of financial conditions beyond what we've seen so far, or inflation pushing up above where it is right now. And in that scenario, then things could get even worse pretty quickly. And in a number of countries already, we're seeing sort of very slow growth going into 2023.
Yeah, and exactly. And those risks, we know, it's just so uncertain because we see Russia, halting gas supplies for Nord Stream 1. So we know that we just don't know what will happen in the next few months. But during these uncertain times, global strong economies were able to stimulate their way out of problems, something that they can't really do right now because of the inflationary impact that might have. If you're saying that there's still a huge probability of recession, that's according to your report, what kind of tools would there be available to try and minimize those risks? Because in the past, and I'm thinking back to past recessions, we would see so much quantitative easing and stimulus, something that we can't actually experience at the moment.
No, and the big difference between, some earlier episodes and now is precisely that inflation in many advanced economies and also in many emerging market economies is pushing at levels that we haven't seen in decades. And so here really, very clearly, the monetary conditions have to be very different. All the monetary easing that was done during the pandemic 2020, 2021 has to be reeled back. And in fact, central banks around the world have to position themselves really so that inflation in the near term, maybe within a year and a half, is going to be coming down back to central bank targets. So we can't hope to have that level of support. In fact, that level of support would probably work against the objective of trying to bring down inflation pressures in the near term.
Yeah, and you also say that tightening monetary policy is actually something that needs to happen and it cannot be delayed. But there's a trade-off, and that is GDP and output. Do you think it's happening aggressively and quickly enough in order to temper the inflationary scenarios that we're seeing right now?
Well, we think that a number of central banks, the Federal Reserve, certainly the Bank of England, the European Central Bank, many of the advanced economies central banks, many of the emerging market economies central banks have already started to tighten monetary policy, and this is the right course of action. We are actually recommending that they stay the course, in other words, that they keep their eyes on inflation and make sure that they can bring back inflation within a reasonable level. That will be slowing down economic activity, as you pointed out. That will be having some impact and will inflict some pain. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will lead to a recession, because in some countries we're starting from a situation where, for instance, labor markets are doing quite well. That's the situation in the US. But it will certainly soften things going forward. Now, why is it important to do that? Well, because low and stable inflation is really a bedrock for future macroeconomic stability. And so we really have to invest in our own macroeconomic future here, making sure that we come back to this low and stable inflation in as many countries as possible.
Give me a sense of whether the US is going to head into recession. That's the big question right now. And of course, Germany as well. There's a big concern there.
under our baseline projection, we are seeing a narrowing path for the U.S. We're not seeing a recession necessarily for the U.S. economy, but for instance, we're projecting that the Q4 on Q4 growth rate for 2023 for the U.S. will be around 0.6%. Now, that's a low number. It basically means that the realization of any downside risk could be enough to knock off the U.S. economy off its growth trajectory and into a recession. So we see the path as narrowing, not necessarily one where a recession becomes part of the baseline, but the realization of risks could certainly take us there. In the European context, you were asking about Germany.
Right.
We see something quite similar. We've had a significant downgrade for a country like Germany, especially in 2023. We're basically bringing their projected growth to 0.8%. That's sort of on an annual basis. And we're thinking that they could be very vulnerable to some of the risks I mentioned. For instance, a full shutdown of Russian gas flows to Europe would have an impact on a number of European countries, including Germany.
All right. So